What up, what up, what up, ladies and gentlemen? It's Mr. Haddock here, and what a great day to learn some science. Today, we're going to be covering lesson 4.5, the digestive system. So make sure you have out your online notebook and you're ready to take some notes because you will be able to use these notes on any standard assessment or exam in the future. So let's start off with an introduction of the digestive system. What is it? Well, the digestive system takes energy that is contained in food and transforms it into a form of energy that our bodies can use. When we eat our food, it's not like, we're just instantly transforming that food directly into energy. It goes through a process, and the digestive system helps take that energy stored in the food and convert it into something that the cells in our body can use. Now, in order to transform this energy, it needs to be able to break down the food. There are two ways that it breaks down food. It breaks down chemically and mechanically through motion, and we'll talk about what each of those forms of digestion are on the next slide. The way it moves food down your digestive tract is through a process called peristalsis. These are wave-like contractions of smooth muscles within your digestive tract. It's pretty cool. It's like taking a ball in a tube and squeezing the tube and pushing the ball through the tube as you go, allowing the food to be pushed by the muscles. This will allow you to actually eat upside down, and it also allows us, this process allows astronauts to eat in space. We don't rely on gravity to get our food to our stomachs, but rather muscle contractions within the digestive tract. Now, going back to the types of digestion, mechanical digestion and chemical digestion. Let's start off with mechanical. Mechanical digestion is that physical breakdown of food into smaller pieces. This occurs in two locations in the digestive tract. It occurs in the mouth when we are chewing, and the two things that are responsible for this would be the teeth and the tongue within your mouth. Your teeth are like scissors cutting through and shredding the food and breaking it down into smaller pieces, and your tongue is a muscle that helps to break it down even further as well and churn it so that your teeth can do their job better. And then the second place that mechanical digestion occurs is within the stomach. The stomach is made up of some muscles, and it allows it to contract, squishing the food and churning it, kind of like the same way your tongue does in your mouth, making sure that it's being churned and turned, and making sure that all sides are being broken down equally. The second form of digestion is the chemical digestion. This is when you break the chemical bonds in food using either acids or digestive enzymes. This is where food is broken down into their basic nutrients. Now, this occurs in various different locations throughout the digestive tract. It first starts off within the mouth. Along with mechanical digestion of the teeth and the tongue, chemical digestion is occurring in your mouth as well with the use of saliva. Saliva helps to break down the food within your mouth. The second place that chemical digestion occurs is within the stomach. Within the stomach, there is an acid called hydrochloric acid. It's actually a very strong acid. And what it does is it helps to break down the food even further from what the saliva and your teeth and tongue were able to do beforehand. And then finally, it's broken down another time chemically within the small intestine. And enzymes work within the small intestine to break down the food. What are the functions of the digestive system? Well, the first is digestion, obviously. This is the mechanical and chemical breakdown of food for use by our cells. Then the second function is absorption, where nutrients are passed through into the circulatory system or bloodstream. Okay, this is So it's working very closely with the circulatory system to transport those nutrients throughout the body. So it relies on other organ systems to get those nutrients to where they need to go. The last part of the digestive system, or the last function, is to get rid of any undigested food and waste within the body. And this is called elimination. Okay. Next up are the parts of the digestive system. There's the list there, and I'll read through them for you. But the first part is the mouth. This is where chewing begins, and it is where specifically mechanical breakdown of food occurs, as well as chemical. Remember, the saliva is also located in the mouth. What releases that saliva for that chemical breakdown are the salivary glands. Okay, and this is what allows that start to the chemical breakdown of food. And they are attached to the nervous system as well, because when you smell and you see food, you'll notice that your salivary glands start to ramp up their production, and you start to get running mouth or whatever. So there's another connection between a different organ system that the digestive system works with. Then you have the esophagus. The esophagus pushes food from the mouth to the stomach. It's what connects our mouth to our stomach, just a transportation tube. The stomach is what churns our food, has hydrochloric acid or HCl to help break down that food even further. Then the small intestine is where most digestion occurs, and this is where the nutrients are absorbed into the bloodstream. Now, they're absorbed into the bloodstream through an organ called the villi. These are tiny finger-like projections that increase the surface area and nutrient absorption. So instead of having a flat surface, it's kind of like I would say like a rug or carpet. Okay, it's not quite flat, but it's like made up of little hairs or finger-like projections is what they use. And each villi or finger-like projection is filled with capillaries and blood vessels to increase that surface area for absorption. Then there's the pancreas, which produces chemicals that break down fats within our food and starches and proteins. This is where insulin is produced. Okay. Then we have, and if you don't know what insulin is, it's what helps to break down and process sugars within our body. And so someone who is diabetic has a pancreas that is not properly functioning and not producing the insulin needed for them to break down the food. Then we have the gallbladder. This is where bile is stored until it is needed by the small intestine. Then the liver produces bile and specifically targets and breaks down fats and other waste products. And then lastly is the large intestine. This is where water is absorbed and minerals, as well as it holds waste within the digestive system. Now let's talk specifically about the villi. Like I said earlier, these are small finger-like projections in the small intestine. The purpose is to increase absorption through increasing surface area. Okay, so they connect the digestive system to the circulatory system, and there are two images there that allow us to see how the blood vessels are woven through the villi to allow more surface area, to allow more absorption of nutrients. Here we're going to talk about again, we're going to go into a little bit more detail about some of these digestive organs, specifically the liver. This is the largest internal organ. It is located just above the stomach. It filters our blood of harmful waste. One of the things that it does also is it stores nutrients for later use. It makes something called bile, which is used to break down fats. So bile is used to break down fats. The gallbladder is specifically a place where larger amounts of bile are stored until they're needed. So it's kind of like a storage area. kind of like a vacuole or from a cell or a closet or something like that. And then finally, the pancreas. This is located between the stomach and the small intestine. What it does is it actually lowers the acidity level of the stomach contents as it enters the small intestine. Okay, remember that hydrochloric acid is quite potent, and it is the job of the pancreas to kind of calm that down. The pancreas produces chemicals to break down fats, starches, and proteins as well, right before it enters the small intestine. And that is the end of the notes. My work here is done. I hope you enjoyed. Have a great rest of your day. If you have any questions, I am still on the Google Meet if you need me.